32-year-old Abdul Jallo is facing a murder charge for the stabbing death of Stephanie Minter. It happened at a bus stop in the Hybla Valley section of Fairfax County last week. And this morning, Jallo made his first court appearance since this incident, but it was for another crime. Our Matthew Torres was there and explains how, despite a laundry list of charges, Jallo was still allowed to roam the streets.
It was truly something that everyone knew was going to happen eventually, and now it has. So there's no excuse coming from the Fairfax County Commonwealth's Attorney's Office that's good enough. But he's filled with them. Steve Descano, has an excuse for every day that ends in Y. And this is yet another example of where we get nothing but blame shifting when there's finally a time to take responsibility for a failure and learn and do better.
Well, the folks we've spoken to in Fairfax County are angry about this case. Abdul Jallo has a lengthy criminal history, including numerous arrests for violent crimes. Back in October of 2018, he was arrested for forcible rape. Now, that charge was dropped by then Commonwealth's attorney Ray Morrow. But earlier that same year, he was charged with maliciously shooting into an occupied building, a felony. That charge was reduced to destruction of property, which is a misdemeanor. He was sentenced to 30 days and supervised release. Now, despite this lengthy criminal history, in 2023, 5 years after the dropped rape charge, Jallo was arrested for malicious wounding in January. Those charges were dropped. A spokesperson for Steve Descano's office says they were unable to move forward with the prosecution in that case because they didn't have the victim's participation. Less than a month later, Jallo was arrested for aggravated malicious wounding. The charges were reduced and he was given 2 years and served less than 1 year. A spokesperson for Descano's office said, "Our office convicted the defendant of a 2023 malicious wounding charge, and we have since made every effort to hold him accountable each subsequent time that he has come in contact with the criminal justice system, including asking him to be held pre-trial and on a probation violation."
Court records show Jallo has a lengthy criminal history with more than 30 cases against him. Several of the charges were for malicious wounding, assault and battery, disorderly conduct, and even rape. Prosecutors dropped most of the cases. The Fairfax County Commonwealth's Attorney's Office says they were unable to prosecute those cases because victims could not be located or contacted despite police efforts to bring them to court.
This guy has 5 stabbings under his belt, a prior rape charge, and we're going to let him walk? It doesn't make any sense.
But Jallo did have one felony conviction for malicious wounding in 2023. Jallo was sentenced to 2 years with 5 years suspended, but was released 7 months later. Then he was arrested again and returned to court for violating probation. Jallo had the chance of going back to prison to serve the rest of his suspended sentence, but court documents say the prosecution and defense struck a deal instead. The judge accepted that agreement and simply resuspended Jallo and ended his probation, allowing him to walk away unsupervised.
Just outright disgusting that victims like Stephanie Minter shouldn't have been victims. You had tools in the toolbox, probation and parole revocation, and you didn't utilize them. So it is your fault.
The Department of Homeland Security says the Sierra Leone national came to the country illegally in 2012. ICE says it issued a detainer on him in 2020 and got an order of removal. Meanwhile, his defense for a bond hearing in 2023 says he was already in the States for nearly 20 years. Court documents also say he's been diagnosed with schizophrenia.
Tonight, Virginia's governor responding in part. Governor Spanberger firmly believes that violent criminals who are in the United States illegally should be deported by immigration enforcement. DHS should request a signed judicial warrant to ensure this violent criminal is deported.
For almost 20 years, the nigga just was in this country just doing unsolicited fuck shit. Hey, Democrats, when y'all marching like for ICE and shit like that, is he the one y'all think about when y'all march? Do y'all do that for him? Y'all like the immigrants, right? How y'all feel about this nigga? He from Sierra Leone. Stabbed 5 people. Forcible rape. Shooting into an occupied building. They've been trying to get him out this motherfucker. Abigail's saying you need to get a signed judicial warrant if you want to deport him. Y'all cool with that, Virginia? Y'all like how that smell? Please speak to me on this topic. Everybody who's against Trump, fuck ICE. How do y'all feel about this? Because it sounds outrageous. This shit shouldn't even been fucking going on. It's bullshit that is going on. It's diabolical.